All right, it's finally annual planting season. Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm going to start the process of planting my summer color in the garden. And some of these things will be perennial, some of them will be annuals. Have a ton of trays, a ton of flats. A lot of it was done from seed here at the house in Raleigh, North Carolina, Zone 7B, and some was purchased down at Big Bloomers, which is a great place to acquire some of these annual and perennial plants and shrubs and trees for that matter. The biggest performer for the pollinators in this garden is this Summer Jewels Salvia, which was in a space here last year. It's been in the garden 2 years in a row. Just a standout. It's not the most colorful annual you'll ever grow. It's actually a perennial well south of me, but up in my area, it's definitely going to be an annual. Not the most colorful thing. So I've got a combo here with some Gomphrena, a lavender color and a purple Gomphrena, and a Celosia, a purple Celosia, and some Dahlias that were in a Jumpstart video a few weeks ago. And these are pink Dahlias that should accent the Summer Jewels Salvia and bring a little more pop of color to this bed, but still draw in tons of pollinators. All of these things will draw in lots of pollinators. You may have watched a video a few weeks ago expanding this space a little bit. I'm going to be able to leave these pansies in place for several more weeks and plant my new annuals in front of those. I think some perennial things will end up back here where the pansies are in a few weeks when they come out. So all I've done here is put down some compost, and then I just put down a little bit of pine bark because I had a few bags of pine bark, and I'm planting right into that. So it's a compost and pine bark mix. I could have just done it directly in the compost without any problem, and most of the time I do. I just happen to have this bark on hand, and it looks kind of snazzy next to the green grass and the pansies behind it. So I'm going to get started laying these out. The Summer Jewels Salvia will reach maybe 14, 15 inches in height during the summertime, and it'll flop over a little bit actually into the grass. It's pretty much what it does. The Gomphrena will reach about the same size, maybe slightly taller, so they're just going to get intermingled in the stripe of Salvia. The Celosia, on the other hand, will end up quite tall, and can end up in this height, and so they're going to go in the back. And the Dahlias, even taller than that, that are in these containers that you're seeing sitting on the grass right now, they'll get planted in the back of that. So that is the strategy. I take, really important here, you see me laying these out like this. I'm about to take them out of the 4-packs and lay them out on the ground. I would not do this in the full sun, this many plants, but this is late in the day. Sun is going down, and so I feel comfortable just laying these out directly onto the ground. Again, I've got them all laid out. It's not in the full sun. You can see the shade down here, late afternoon. Don't do this in the middle of the day, or you can lay some out in the middle of the day. Just don't, not this many at one time probably. What I was going for here as I was laying these out is I wanted some of the white Summer Jewels Salvia, some of the pink, some of the 2 different colors of Gomphrena just sporadically through this area. But I'm not going to sit here and spend all day making sure that I get exactly every other pink, every other white, every other lavender, I'm not going to worry about it that much. They're just going to grow right into one another during the season. These probably on the label say they need to be spaced 6-8 inches apart, maybe more. I'll probably end up with these more like 5 inches apart, something like that. They'll fill in quicker, and I want to enjoy them this summer. I don't want to wait until the middle of summer to have these filled in. I just use a trowel. If you've ever seen me plant annuals before, I just stick the trowel into the soil and pull back like that. Of course I hit a rock first thing, but I don't have that many rocks out here, but that's it. Go in, pull back, annual goes in, soil goes around it. And if you've, planted once you've planted a ton of these, you'll notice it goes really, really quickly. Again, here, I don't really want to end up with a perfectly straight line exactly 5 inches from this turf all the way around. So, you know, when I grab the next one, I'm going to kind of go toward the middle, of this space, and then the next one would go toward to the front. And again, I'm just picking up the next one. I don't care whether it's a Gomphrena or a Salvia or what it is, except for it does matter on the Celosia. I've got a group of 3 Celosia that will go to the back of this, which will end up about this tall. So that matters because of the height. The others are equal enough. And if I end up with a few more whites here and a few more pinks there, I just don't care. So here we go. Again, they're pretty close together. You don't have to plant them that close together. There's a lot of plants here. About half of them were done from seed in the house. The rest I purchased, and I would like to have done more of them in the house, but this was actually my first time doing the Gomphrena, this particular Gomphrena, and the Summer Jewel Salvia. I've done tons of things from seed, but these 2 particular things I didn't trust entirely on doing them from seed this first season, but next year, 100%, I'll do both of these from seed. This is that Ping Pong Gomphrena, and then the Summer Jewels Salvia, which comes in several colors. I like the pink, I like the light pink, and I like the white together. The white really, really stands out. I want to show you something. The ones I did from seed here, and even the ones I purchased, the root system's not particularly, they're not particularly root bound. So you didn't see me breaking these up. If these had been seriously root bound, or had done these seedlings way too early in the season, I would have needed to break these root balls up a little bit. But I'm just showing you this to show you that these will be fine. These will root out with no problem. But if you have something that's root bound, this is another argument for doing your seedlings just in time seedlings. So these take about 6 weeks to be in a transplantable state. 6 weeks have gone by, they're going in the ground. If it went 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, they would be seriously root bound. If you want to go back and watch how I moved this turf back a few weeks ago, I'll link that video up here in the corner. It was, the grass was removed, compost was put down. It was actually tilled a little, and then a little more compost went down. So I could have probably just planted directly into that without this bark. I kind of like the color of the bark in here. This is pine bark. These are almost like mini nuggets. They're pretty good size pieces of bark. There's some small pieces in it, but there are some chunky bits in it as well. Next steps, water them in really well just to get all the soil settled around them. Fertilizer, I fertilized everything in this landscape. I mean, the entire landscape, including this space back in, toward the end of January or early February. In a couple weeks, I'll come back out here and probably use some flower tone on them, some sort of organic fertilizer. The individual plants have been fertilized in those flats with fish emulsion for the last few weeks, and so that got them jumping up. Last step here, and the compost is feeding them as well. The soil I have built here is a significant amount of fertilizer I need to use. I really don't like to push my plants all that hard. I've put them slightly closer together, and then I'm just going to grow them slow and steady. One thing you'll notice, that one, the one that I had in my hand a few minutes ago showing you the roots, are like this Gomphrena, where it's just a single stalk like this. I really need to get them branching out, and so the step that a lot of people probably don't want to take is this one, and I'm just going to go right across the top of these and deadhead them a bit. That deadheading process will, instead of putting this energy into these current flowers that they have, it can push energy into rooting into the ground, getting themselves established, and also producing additional width. So basically suckering and forcing growth from the bottom of the plant. So I'm going to go through every one of these. Again, a lot of people A lot of people aren't going to like this step because you're just taking the flowers off of the things that you just purchased and put in the ground. But trust me when I say this is a whole summer project, not a today, late April project. Okay, there you go. It's they're in, they're planted. This should be absolutely fantastic this summer. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. A ton more things going into this landscape in the next week or two. A late frost here last week has slowed me down, so now I'm really anxious to get on this stuff. I would like to get tomatoes and peppers in the ground tomorrow, and then several other annual planting videos. But I love this combo. It's this pale, you got this pale pink and white with a slightly darker pink and purple Gomphrena mixed into it. Also in this combo is the Celosia, which will have the kind of pinkish stalks, burgundy foliage, and then those pink flowers on the top as well. And then pink flowering dahlias, and I'll list the name of the dahlias on the screen, but these were again done in a jumpstart video where I bought the tubers, got them growing in the pot a little bit, and now they're up. The only one that doesn't have foliage yet was rooting into the container, so I went ahead and put it in the container. I didn't need to wait for foliage. Those roots alone were enough of a jump start for me. So there you go. Thanks for watching.